Cancel that. So every week I'm going to try to do just a quick garden update, let you know how everything is going. The garden is really starting to take off, and we'll start first with this here is a red potatoes here, but as you can see there are flowers that are starting to form. Well, and let me start first by saying, if you're new here, this is my backyard garden here. 18 raised beds all across. I also have chickens, 9 chickens, but this is all in my backyard on less than a third of an acre. And what's really cool, again, been living here about 15 years, but I have all this in the backyard as well. Great little area to fish, can walk around, but this is all in a residential neighborhood that I live in. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. I started a little bit earlier than, because I had a greenhouse that I was able to get a head start, but usually I do everything I was in my garage. I had like a little, I guess a 5-tier shelf system and grow lights, but the greenhouse here, this guy is starting to, well, there's pretty much nothing in here really. It's kind of barren, but as you see, the weeds are thriving in this bad boy. So I'll probably have to get everything out, get it cleaned up. I have some very sad looking okra plants that need to water or just compost. And then I made a video about some ginger that I was growing. And as you can see, they're starting to sprout. See that? There's a bunch of little sprouts showing here. So I'm excited about this here. It was super easy to do. Just bought some organic ginger from the grocery store, some potting mix, stuck it in the soil. But like I said, these are the ladies here. I have 9 chickens total. We had 10, but one was a rooster, so we had to give that to a friend that has a farm, just because that rooster tends to get a little rowdy. Not to say that these hens are not loud, but and we got a couple of silkies. Obviously someone's chilling there in the egg box. So I'm pretty sure you get anywhere from 6 to 7 eggs a day, which is not bad. Either, again, I don't eat that many eggs on a weekly basis, but we do have friends that we can share the eggs with, and have neighbors that I can offload eggs to. So, but back to the garden. Oh, before I get into the actual garden space, I just want to show off this Meyer lemon tree that I have. So, bought this here from a local farmer supply, and this thing is just taken off. Doesn't require much. And I'm going to keep it in this container. As you can see here, beautiful lemons, has tons of blooms on it. And this is something that I bought and planted this spring. So if you're looking to do a simple fruit tree, would highly recommend getting yourself a lemon tree that you could put into a container if that's your thing. Also, if you're looking for a fast growing fruit tree and you like figs, this bad boy here, I originally had it in a container and I even cut it back to try to make fig cuttings. That didn't do that. That didn't go that well, but when it's all said and done, this thing has come back fierce, and I'm excited to see how this will perform, especially after cutting it back. But again, that thing will grow and you'll have fruit. Same first year. This bad boy here is a tangerine plant that I got from a local farmer supply. We may get some tangerines in this first year. Won't know until later on, but that's what the person at the store was telling me, that the vendor was sharing with them. Here, this is a Granny Smith apple tree. And the reason why I went with a Granny Smith apple tree is because I do juice and I use a lot of green apples. So if I can just get it out of my own yard, how great would that be? This here is a nectarine tree. And I picked this up from Whole Foods. It was like 20, 25 bucks. Really expensive, and actually had a couple tree options you could go with. And then this here is a Gala apple tree. And like I said, just wanted some fruit trees. I've been wanting to do this for several years, and I just never got around to actually planting any. And so I was like, you know what? This is the year. But back to the garden. So 18 beds. These are all 3x6, made with cedar picket fencing and 2x4s as in the interior frame. And then, almost killed myself there walking over that fence. Anyways, and then back here along these are 1x6 beds that again, I added these here because I shifted everything over in the garden so I could have more room to grow more stuff. Because originally I had 12 beds and I was maybe 2 feet apart, which is what is recommended, you know, if you want to have space, you know, wheelbarrow. But honestly, this is fine. Again, to each their own. So I just shifted everything over. This is about a foot apart, just over a foot apart. It gives me enough room to walk between them. I still can mulch. I can't use a wheelbarrow, but I could back my truck up into my backyard, use a 5-gallon bucket, put dirt, scoop it in. That's how I did everything here. So a little bit more effort, but I like spending time in my garden. So, but yeah, we'll work this back down. So grow bags, these are my red potatoes, and I have 2 grow bags. These are 30-gallon grow bags. I made a video about the bags that I do use. These are black fabric, 30-gallon bags. And I have 2 of these with red potatoes. And then this here is Bogard, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Bogard sweet potatoes that I picked up from Home Depot. I tried growing my own potato slips, but I got impatient. That will happen with gardening sometimes. You want that instant gratification, so I just bought some plants. So I got two 30-gallon bags of sweet potatoes that I'm growing. And then the rest of these bins here along the fence are flowers, because I wanted to do cut flowers. And what's a garden without having flowers? Especially helps with promoters, pollinators, excuse me. But here, these are zinnias that I grew from, what is it? Grew from seeds, and actually they're starting to, let's show that, starting to actually get a bloom on them, so that's new. But these, be excited to harvest, not harvest, but cut these once they start flowering and blooming. And then I have a variety of sunflowers here. I want to say this dark, it's like red stem one is like I think it's called like a red velvet. And then these here should be like a mammoth sunflower or small variety type. And then again, more zinnia flowers. And then these are this one here is snapdragon, and then some marigolds mixed in here in between. Thank you. There's two places I'd rather be. It's going to be in my garden or on the water. So, yeah, I'll make a video share like how this all progressed. But as I learn more about what goes into starting a garden and maintaining it, you'll be surprised how my garden journey started and where we're at today. And obviously I'm still going, so I'm excited to see what the future holds. But everything you see, again, with the exception of sweet potatoes, some of these herbs that I bought these from, a store. Everything else is from seeds, like all seeds. So again, if you have the patience to start from seeds, it's a lot more rewarding, just in my own experience. But I would challenge you to give it a try and just be prepared to fail. I mean, you don't get this here without killing a lot of plants. And if only you knew the amount of plants that I've had to compost to get to this point. But you got to start somewhere. But so I have one bed here dedicated. This is nothing but this is all herbs, oregano, and it's organic. Yeah, I don't use any type of chemicals in my garden. I compost everything, and then again back there I have free compost from the chicken poop. So I don't spray any type of pesticides in my garden. The way I see it is just like when you're fishing, the tax man, the shark, if you catch something, they're going to get it. Same thing with garden. You're going to have bugs that are going to take their share. You just got to be prepared to let things go. So this here is peppers, the cayenne peppers on this side of the garden, and then these are all jalapenos because we eat a lot. I'll pickle my jalapenos. And then here, adjust my camera here. So, and here, this here is my cucumber bed. So, these are straight 8s that I'm growing on this side. And they seem to take a little bit longer time compared to these are Katrinas. This here is They're a smaller variety of cucumbers, so think of like mini slicing cucumbers, but they are going crazy, and I would imagine in the next week or two I'm going to have a bunch of cucumbers I'll be able to harvest in the near term. And then this here is a bed of green beans. You see, I already have blooms on them, so this is about to take off. And then here, more peppers. These are bell peppers, but they're snackable sizes, so they are going to be much smaller. They're going to be an orange, yellow, and red color. And then it's already getting hot. Holy cow! And then this is again another bed. But this is something new, and it's coming out really great. This is eucalyptus. This is a silver dollar eucalyptus, and I have a bunch of them in here growing. What I'm going to do with them, I don't know, but I just wanted to. They were in my shopping cart when I bought seeds online, and gonna see how this goes. So, and then I got these grow bags here. These are all radishes. 1, 2, 3, and then somehow, I guess, this is spinach that I did not broadcast seeds evenly in this thing, so they're all against this backside here. This here, watermelon, but this is going to be a yellow flesh watermelon that I'm growing in. Something, obviously, again, cut the leaves off, but I just need one of these plants to take off. But I'm taking my chances with only doing 3. And then here, cucumbers. The variety, I'm drawing a blank, but not, did I say cube? Sorry, cantaloupes. Cantaloupes. So typically I wake up really early in the morning. My routine is I'll get up at like 5, work out, do my walk or run, and then before or after I take the kids to school, probably around like 8:15, I will get out in the garden and I hand water everything. So either in the morning I'll tend to the garden space, get stuff done, or in the evening. And again, you're talking about maybe 15 minutes. Nothing. If I stay on top of it, I don't get backlogged on having spent too much time out here. But yeah, it maybe 30 minutes a day I might spend back here. And occasionally I'll get one of my kids to help me. But really, it's low maintenance. There's not much weeds that I have to tend to. That's one thing that's great about raised beds. You don't have as much weeds to deal with, which is probably one of the tedious things that you have to stay on top of, especially if I had this growing in my ground. It would be an endless battle, and I would lose trying to keep up with weed control. So raised beds saves you a lot of time. Here, this is Clemson, spineless Clemson okra. And I just love okra. Again, here I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's a southern thing, but fried okra, love it. So I will always have that in my garden. This here is a bed of romaine lettuce. Now, the only thing I would say about this here, I don't know if I planted too many, so I might look to maybe do half of this amount so I have a little more space so that the crowns can grow bigger, since I typically harvest the entire head of lettuce rather than the leaves, I guess, cut and come back, you know, process. And again, this is romaine lettuce, so typically you want to, I harvest the entire head or crown of lettuce. So this bed here, this is basil, entire bed dedicated to basil. Like I've said before, this is just something I wanted to do for my brother-in-law. He has a pizzeria, and I thought it'd be cool just to grow a bunch of basil that he'll be able to use. And, you know, not that I ever need this much basil, but why not? Yeah, I have 18 beds. I would have put something else there that I probably didn't need. So, are you one thinking of working with bees? I would love at some point to get into beekeeping, but issue with where I live, and again with this water behind my house, mosquitoes are a thing here, and so they will spray. The county will spray occasionally, so I would have to notify them, which again, not a big deal, but at some point, I don't know if it would be practical to have bees unless I have like a different piece of property that I can work with to maintain them. I mean, I do preserve some foods. I would love to get more into it, like really get into canning. I think that's something I'll definitely get into this growing season that I haven't taken on fully, but I will. That's the hopes and goal this growing season and moving forward. I would argue lettuce is probably the easiest thing to grow. I mean, all this lettuce here is from seeds that I had saved from lettuce that I grew last year. Just maybe it's a certain variety. Like I know with it starting to get warmer, lettuce likes cooler weather. There are some that do prefer, what is it, like that are more heat tolerant. So maybe try giving that a try. I've also grown lettuce, using hydroponics, cracky method, where you kind of like set it and forget it on the porch. Super easy thing to do. Just need the proper nutrients. I use Master Blend, and I've harvested tons of lettuce that way too, and it doesn't take up that much space. So here, this is all corn. Now, corn is something that I've grown, but I don't know if I've planted too few. So hopefully by densely planting them together like this here, they will pollinate and produce some healthy ears of corn that we'll be able to harvest soon. And this is this is Silver Queen, so this is a sweet corn variety. It is heating up here. So here, this is loofah. This is all loofah here, and I'm gonna get this here to grow on this guy here. I would love to have some kind of archway, but for the time being, this was around the house, so this is what I'm using. The easiest seeds for me to collect are lettuce seeds. They tend to be smaller, so you just let it just go to flower, and then once they dry out, you can harvest them. Green bean seeds are, again, super easy to save seeds from. Any plant that are kind of like your bigger vegetables or fruits, I think you'll have a easier time saving seeds. But like basil, for example, those seeds are super tiny, so I've never saved seeds from that. I might try, but again, those seeds are very tiny compared to okra, where they grow these pods and the seeds are really big and you can easily grab one and hold it in your hand. So, and then some plants like carrots, they don't flower until the second year, so you wouldn't even be able to get seeds the first season if I let this, continue to grow and not harvest. Sunflowers, on the other hand, you can save a bunch of seeds from. Same thing with sugar snap peas. Again, I made a video about this here. This is a super easy way to grow sugar snap peas. I'm using this, I think it's like a 7-gallon grow bag here and a tomato cage. And as you can see, there's tons of sugar snap peas on this bad boy that I gotta harvest. So, and then I got, these are Danforth carrots growing here. Wildflowers. And this is beets. And these are what they call, this is baby beets. So smaller variety that I think would have, that would do well in a smaller 10-gallon container like this here. Then more sunflowers, marigold. And what's going to happen is this bad boy, as it grows, once it gets beyond the fence, this is going to face this way. So I'll be surprised I'll be able to even see my flower heads, which I don't know if you see, starting to form one, but it'll face my neighbor's yard and they'll get to enjoy it versus me being able to. And then all right, say thanks for joining. Hope you have a great weekend. Here, this is mint, and then I have more peppers. These are that bell pepper variety. And then kind of wrapping up here, more. This is not more. This is all celery. Again, I decided to grow a lot of celery because I juice with celery, so it only makes sense to grow what I will use and eat. And then here are white onions. And then rounding out here, this is, what's this kind of? Okay, here this is zucchini and squash that I'm gonna try growing vertically, that I've never done before, but starting to already see some zucchini forming on this here. So as this plant starts getting bigger, I have some garden tape that I'll start to wrap the plants and get them growing vertically. Bed of tomatoes. This is all San Marzano canning, so a canning Italian tomato that I'm trellising. Never done this before, but I see videos where people have tomato plants that they're growing vertically and they're removing the bottom leaves. Usually I just let these things just grow till they topple over with a minimum support. So this is the first time. I'm hoping I can pull it off. And then this is all slicing tomatoes here. It's gonna be your orange variety, like a purplish red, and then a red tomato. And then this bed here is nothing but cherry and grape tomatoes. So should have a lot of tomatoes this year. And if you ever grown grape tomatoes, these things will put out a lot. So you got to stay on top of it. So, and then I think I might have said something about this here, but all these beds here is garlic that will be harvesting June. So yeah, that'll do it for the weekly garden tour and update. But do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications whenever I post new videos, as well as go live. And please share. Like I said, I'm hoping to do this weekly, as well as the season gets warmer. My channel again is all about gardening, but I also love fishing and boating, just being so close to the beach. So I would look to be doing more live videos, not just with my garden, but if I'm fishing in the backyard, freshwater fishing, or fishing inshore, or just out on the water, going to the beach, hanging out with friends, family, or even on a charter. So just make sure you do me a favor. Check out my channel, check out some of my videos, and leave some comments if you have any questions. So I'm on the East Coast. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm at the beach area. So thank you, Donna, for the subscribe. Yeah, so I'm in, I guess, this zone 8A, and we do tend to have a longer growing season. I mean, honestly, I can probably grow vegetables for the ones that will grow and maintain, probably through November, just because it doesn't get cold really until late November. And honestly, we've seen temperatures in the 70s in December. I remember it was like an 80 degrees one Christmas years back. So unlike other areas, our frost is probably March, and then late March, sometime is early April might be our last frost. So again, you can get a head start by having a greenhouse like I have, or doing something in your garage. And before I sign off, again, I'm just outside my fence, walking behind my yard. It was really cool. This is a natural water. They made this to like a retention pond, but this here used to be a bigger lake. But as they started building houses around, they've closed it off. But what's really cool too is they're hiding right now, but there are at least 2 alligators that hang out back here. But the water life is teeming back here. You can catch catfish, carp, bass. So thought I was gonna be able to get the alligator on camera, but it decided to duck down. Before I had a greenhouse, this is the first year I actually had a greenhouse. I did everything in my garage. I bought a shelving, like a 5-shelf system from Costco, and that thing worked beautifully. I didn't buy any fancy grow lights. I went to Harbor Freight, bought these $20 lights, LED lights, and they were like, I want to say 5 feet long. Those things work like a charm. I used it for hydroponics. And again, I don't get caught up in too much of the details of how to do something. Again, with gardening, it's really just about learning and kind of experimenting on your own. Of course, you can do your own research, look things up, get advice from people, but in my own opinion, there's no wrong way of gardening. I mean, again, to each their own, what they want to do. So all I say is just start gardening if you haven't. If you ever been on the fence about trying something, start small. You don't have to go crazy like this year. My first garden was, I would say, maybe 8x8 size. It was in this back corner where that tree was at, and it did really well. But before I even had that garden, I had a 4x8 garden where this fence is at back here, the driver gate, and I just bought topsoil, Didn't think I needed any special type of fertilizer or compost, and of course everything died. So again, that was just a learning. Now when I reflect back, I'm like, oh, that's why it didn't work that well. So again, it's just through trial and error, just kind of experimenting, figuring out what works for you, your space, and how much you want to grow. So yeah, I don't have any hydroponics going right now. I usually do that in the garage, but I use my garage for working out, and I have like a little home gym. So I'm trying to get out of the garage. At some point, I'm gonna get a better greenhouse where I'll be able to have the actual setup that I want. Rodents. Nope, I have no pests. What's crazy is I know I hear people have like problems with squirrels, birds. No, I don't have any of those issues. Maybe bugs, ants, fire ants, but I'm never struggling with any type of critters getting into this here. Not that I know of. So I'm fortunate in that regards. So again, this is very low maintenance. I have a full-time job. I started my own charter business. So again, I'm not super busy with that, but if I'm not back here, I'm either doing kid sports, but it's really not that much. I water everything by hand. I don't have any type of watering system. I just enjoy coming out in the garden early in the morning, having a cup of coffee. Again, just this is my space, my happy space. So you don't need anything this crazy, but I just wanted to maximize my footprint without taking up more of my yard. So I did what anybody would do, just figure out how to use your space more effectively. So that's what I did. So here, I'm about to take it inside, but again, thanks for joining me today, and I hope everyone have a great weekend, and hope you get out there and garden if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.